This guy has finally been convicted, and the question is on what charges and just how long will he stay in the penitentiary? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried finally being convicted on all charges, including money laundering and fraud related to the collapse of the crypto exchange, FTX, and the hedge fund Alameda Research. Now, this is a pretty deep story. There's a whole lot to it. And if I get anything wrong, y'all please feel free to correct me in the comments below. But here is how this whole thing unraveled. Now, back in November of 2022, I know it's just been 1 year since this whole thing unraveled. But back then, some issues with FTX and Alameda were revealed to the public. This caused basically a run on the bank, essentially. And it was revealed that there wasn't enough money to pay everyone who had invested. And let's back up before the collapse. Alameda Research, the hedge fund, came first. This was comprised of cryptocurrency. And what they found out later is that most of the balance sheet was of a crypto coin that they created over at Alameda Research themselves. But different story, I digress. The way that Alameda worked is that they were able to manipulate a difference between the price of Bitcoin in America and the price in Japan. So they could buy it in America and sell it in Japan and make money on the difference. I think they made about $30 million doing that. Now, after that, I'm not quite sure how they made money because that gap eventually closed. Now, fast forward, Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of Alameda, began to found FTX. Now, FTX was an open platform. I think Alameda Research, it's a hedge fund, is closed. You couldn't be a guy off the street investing into Alameda Research, but you could invest into FTX. And what they would do is take your money, regular Joe Blow, like you and I, they would take our money and supposedly invest it into crypto, okay? So you're trusting this person to take your money and invest like a stockbroker. But what wound up happening is that a lot of that money, when I say a lot, I mean billions of dollars of that money that you and I gave, not me, but some people, got misappropriated. I'm talking about political campaigns got funded. Some of the cash went to Alameda Research to shore up that hedge fund, which had a lot of problems, obviously. So when all that was revealed to the general public, people were like, okay, I'm getting my money out of FTX right now. And what was revealed was a Ponzi scheme. That's why I say Bernie Madoff at the beginning, because it was the same thing. Okay, you're giving this guy a bunch of money. He's supposed to invest it, but the money is going to other places. He doesn't count on you getting the money out anytime soon. So he's just living large, living lavish, trying to buy real estate, all kind of stuff. But then when it comes time to pay the investors, I don't have it. Now you're bankrupt. Now people have lost fortunes. Celebrities lost millions of dollars. It was a whole big mess. And now here we are. He has been convicted. Now it looked kind of shaky because, again, he gave money to Democrats. And before I even go down that road of the political stuff, let's just pop it up right here. Now, what I'm going to show you is a very interesting video. That's Maxine Waters right there in the red, and that's Sam Bankman-Fried wearing the book bag. Now, this is not recent footage, meaning this year. This might have been last year, 2022, or the year before that, because he gave millions. I'm talking about tens of millions to mostly like 98% Democrats. I think he might have given it to one kind of right-leaning organization, but mostly he gave to Democrats. Now, watch this. Look at that. She blows him a kiss. Okay, so that's what we're talking about right there. So when I saw that, the flicking of the wrist, I'm not really worried about that. The blowing of the kiss is most important. So when I saw that, I'm like, wow, this guy's going to escape, ain't he? He was in the Bahamas and they weren't trying to extradite him. I was like, man, this guy might get off, but he has been convicted. Now, the question is, how long will he actually get in the penitentiary? That's the question. They're saying up to 100 years, and the sentencing is going to be at the end of March next year, 2024. So we'll know for certain at that time what he will be sentenced to. Now, of course, it's probably going to be a bunch of lawyer action, appeals, and everything else, but I don't see this guy being able to get off. I think that he's going to pretty much be toast. And it is going to get weird because of the political stuff. Now, let me just read some of this right here because this is important. He has not been convicted or charged with any of this political stuff. That's a whole different story. What he's been convicted with is just the fraud and the money laundering related to what he did with FTX and Alameda Research, taking people's money that they invested into FTX and then using that for whatever, using that to buy real estate, using that to go on expensive vacations, using that to pump money back into Alameda Research, using that to pay for his girlfriend or whatever, Caroline, using that to do whatever he wanted to do rather than what it was supposed to be for, which was to invest into cryptocurrency and give investors a return on their money, a return on their investment. But let's read this right here. So you see what it says. FTX fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF for short, is facing 100 years in the federal penitentiary after he was found guilty of all charges brought forward by the Department of Justice. However, what remains unclear is whether action will be taken by the DOJ to investigate the over $70 million with the M dollars SBF donated to high-profile U.S. politicians and super PACs over the past 2 years. Throughout the 2022 midterm cycle alone, SBF donated $40 million to Democrat-aligned PACs. Now, to put it in context, the only person or entity to give more was George Soros. And if that's wrong, y'all let me know. But that's what I read a while ago. Only George Soros was able to top him. Or he might have been the top guy himself, speaking about SBF. He gave a lot of money just on the midterms. We ain't even talking about the general. Just on the midterms, he gave $40 million in 2022. Now, how does that work? Is anybody brought up on an investigation? No, I guess it's all good because I didn't know any better, right? I'm just getting a donation. I don't know any better, okay? And if they don't prosecute this guy, then it's you make the whole thing look like what it has been kind of looking like. It's like a banana republic. You could just pay politicians and do whatever you want to do. That's how it looked for a while until he actually got extradited from the Bahamas and brought to, I believe, New York, and then he went to trial. So before his scheme was exposed, the crypto scammer announced his intentions to give $1 billion to the Democrat candidates across the 2024 cycle. So if not for this whole thing being exposed and Alameda and FTX falling apart and him getting convicted, then he was going to give $1 billion of your money if you donated, if you, invested $1 billion he was going to give. Joe Biden, whose 2020 campaign received $5 million from SBF, has yet to make any move to return the dirty money. Oh, nah, I didn't know any better. I didn't know it came from hardworking Americans who thought they were giving the money to a real crypto exchange to invest into their future for their kids and everybody else to secure their retirement and generational wealth. I had no idea. So I'm going to keep that money. Okay, that's how that works. But hey, check it out. We're going to keep printing and spending more money, so you're going to have inflation. So not only will I keep your money I stole allegedly from from the whole SBF operation, not only will I keep the stolen SBF money, I'm also going to make you pay more money. I'm going to make money that you have worthless. Another prominent Democrat with close ties to the crypto defrauder is California Rep. Maxine Waters. During a congressional hearing led by the U.S. Finance Committee, on which Waters serves on, she was videotaped blowing a kiss to SBF. Your politicians are bought and paid for. Ain't that the truth? But hey, he has been convicted. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out. Again, he's facing 100 years in the penitentiary. He'll be sentenced at the end of March, I believe, March 28th of 2024. So we're going to see how that whole thing goes. But as I close, I want to say this. I'm glad that he got convicted. I just want to see the whole thing hold up. I don't want to see it get overturned quietly on an appeal. I don't want to see him get a slap on the wrist for the conviction. And I want to see some heads roll when it comes to how this whole thing played out. I want to see if any politicos knew what was happening, but turned the other way because they got the money. You know, SBF says, hey, here's $5 million. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Let me keep on rocking and rolling. I know I'm over here doing this and doing that, but don't worry about it. How much did he give Maxine Waters for her to blow him a kiss? Why would you do that? Why would you do a thing? He was at a hearing where all this kind of unraveling, and, you know, he's basically going through court action at this point. You're speaking before the Senate, why would she do a thing like that? Totally crazy. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what's going on with Sam Bankman-Fried, aka SBF, and the whole FTX and Alameda Research and the political people we donated to? What's your take on the whole situation? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think some politicians knew what was happening and turned the other way. And it's like, nah, I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I don't know anything because I got my palms greased. That's my humble opinion. And there needs to be some serious action. Sam Bankman-Fried was not the only player here. There were a lot of others, and they need to face some serious penalties as well. And I hope it's a lesson to anybody when you see guys and they say, hey, give me some money, I'll invest it. Be careful. Be very careful. You don't want to be the next victim of a Bernie Madoff or a Sam Bankman-Fried or anyone else like that. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.